Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Tuesday. These Red Mic messages are mostly leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: disagreement without insults, acknowledging people's opinions without making assumptions about them. Um, you know, I, you hear me mention every day 10 years as a mediocre athlete. Well, that meant I spent a lot of time in locker rooms. And I wasn't going to talk about this at all because I know somebody's going to try to make it political, and it's not. Frankly, I don't give two rats back ends that Trump was at the Super Bowl. I don't care that there was probably almost likely a message in the halftime show geared specifically for him. I really don't. You know, musicians have been going after politicians for years, and it's going to continue. And good, you know, musicians should go after politicians. TVs, movies, TV shows, movies, books. They should all go after politicians. Let them know what you're thinking. Let them know what's in your heart. It's not about that. While I was in those locker rooms, I developed what I would say is a healthy respect for rap music. I've enjoyed rap since the 80s. Uh, you know, Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang, you know, Dougie Fresh, Run DMC, Grandmaster Flash. You know, I grew up listening to those guys. So yesterday, when I was reading about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show, which I didn't like, a lot of reasons, but for me, it was hard to understand the words. I understood the meaning. The symbolism was pretty clear. It just didn't seem entertaining to me. And yeah, I know that was the whole point of Sam Jackson. Him trying to come out and be the house Uncle Sam. Fill in that blank however you want. Like his it was a nod back to his character in Django. I get all that discussion. I really do. But that's not why I want to watch the halftime show. To me, the best halftime show in history was Prince playing the hell out of his guitar in the rain and not caring. It was all about the music. It was all about saying, look, these are the skills I have. These are my God given abilities. I've grown them, I've developed them, and now I'm going to entertain the hell out of you. And he did. So I think there was a disconnect between the NFL and a good chunk of their audience. Ultimately, they are a business and they need to think like a business. Their core audience, by every metric I've been able to find, is 50 to 55-year-old people. Skews very heavily men, of course. And I've spent so much time in marketing and communications that you write for the larger common denominator. You just do. So when a number of people are saying, "Oh, it was awful. It was unintelligible. It was worse than Maroon 5." When your fans are saying, "Man, I would have loved to hear Usher or Bruno Mars or JT, or hell, even bring back, you know, Miss Jackson if you're nasty, let's." But I think they really misread the room. And yes, I understand that an opportunity like this is to expand the dialogue. Okay, so let's talk about the dialogue. It was not an overriding opinion, but there were a lot of opinions out there that if you didn't like the halftime show, you were one or all or a combination of these things. You were stupid because you didn't get it. You're too old, and maybe there might be some validity to that. Or you're racist because you didn't want to see that sort of message from that sort of performer. And again, any combination of those three. Well, you know what? That's making a whole lot of assumptions about people. I didn't like it. That doesn't make me racist because I dislike a whole lot of a whole lot of artists for a whole lot of different reasons. If you know me personally in real life, you know that Alison Krauss makes me want to poke my eardrums out, and she's as white as I am. So it to me it wasn't about politics or artistry. It was a failure for the NFL to understand a good chunk of their audience and probably a majority of their audience. So apply that to leadership, whether you're running a business or you're coaching a team or you're leading an agency, you have to know who you serve and what they expect. That doesn't mean you don't challenge them, but don't confuse them. Talking about knowing your audience, you know, the I've mentioned that LinkedIn is turning increasingly political and increasingly divisive. I made relatively the same points in a couple of comments on LinkedIn, and this guy from, I think he was from Oregon, um, called me, quote, uh, butthurt and a snowflake boomer. Now, I don't engage in name calling, but I did let them know three things. One, grow up. And I said that because if you can't have a conversation without throwing a tantrum, maybe you're the real snowflake. Two, I feel I made a valid point about the NFL's median audience without insulting anyone, without talking about race or politics or any of that. And third, I'm Gen X. I'm not a boomer. I grew up on real music, real talk, hose water, and neglect. Don't throw hands with me, man. Making assumptions about anyone's opinion, it's just wrong. So stop it. I think I'm going to listen to Dougie Fresh or maybe Grandmaster Flash on the way to work today. Let me know what you think. And again, if you liked it, great. If you didn't like it, that's great too. I'm not going to make any assumptions about who you are based on what music you listen to. So again, grow up. That's today's Red Mike message. Y'all have a good day. And don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.